talking about here, right? Okay, common sense is dictating the following, guys. The area of Israel that is right next to Gaza, as far as I know, as far as anybody knows, is literally the most fortified area, both physically and technologically, for sure in Israel, possibly in the entire world, relatively speaking, to its size and to its location and all that kind of stuff. Guys, so now knowing the fact that that area is patrolled by human beings, by aircraft manned by human beings, both manned by human beings and unmanned, remote control, machinery that is, motion censored, and also there's like physical walls and fences there. Basically any kind of fortification and technological kind of apparatus you could think of that would prevent anyone stupid enough to come, cross a border from crossing that border. Either deter them or just eliminate them, liquidate them, right? Guys, not only did a bunch of what my guys, my friend called them sub-chimps, quasi-chimps, right? That's probably an insult to chimps, the actual chimps. Managed to cross the border. Again, the border that has air, land, and sea fortifications up the wazoo, up the nose, through the nose, and out the ears, and out the mouth, right? These sub-chimps managed to cross the border on glorified kites, on glorified, rowboats, and just by foot, right? And on top of that, it was like 7 hours before any reaction, any substantial of anything. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just landed from Mars and somebody told you this, gave you this information, you would conclude that the so-called victims, meaning not the victims, but the people that are running the show, as it were, who are running these apparatuses, wanted this to happen. Running these technologies and these borders, they wanted this to happen. They allowed this to happen. Yeah, there's an enemy there. There's already an existing enemy that is essentially like again, they're like not really part of what you would call civilized society. And so the people that are running this technology that most of the time would stop these sub-chimps from getting in, SUB, sub-chimps, right? Just decided, hey, there's an order to stand down, and we're going to do this. Now the question, guys, you might be asking, a lot of my friends asked me the question, Svi, now that you kind of laid this out, I didn't lay anything out. I just stated a fact. All I did right now, guys, is state a fact. I literally said, you know what I literally said just now? I said, the sky is blue. And now you guys are asking me, well, Tzvi, now that you're telling us the sky is blue, why would the sky be blue? Why would it be blue? Why would it become blue as opposed to red? Well, in this case, guys, let's think. Let's put our thinking caps on. I know it's difficult, especially given that it's very difficult for a lot of people to conceptualize or fathom that the government of the only Jewish country in the world would allow such a thing, for such a thing to happen, right? Deliberately. I see my friend is writing, in September, the animals practiced blowing up the border fence. There was video of it, so the forces in play had to know what they were planning. Yeah, of course. Of course they did. But again, man, listen, let's go on. Let's move on. So my friends have trouble fathoming that this government would do such a thing, would allow such a thing. even after the 2.5 years or 3 years that people like myself and other people went through, where they allowed all kinds of Gnostic fruitcakes and globalists to use their country as a laboratory for whatever reason. Right? Whether you want to agree with me or not, I'm telling you a fact. Again, I just told you the sky is blue. So now that you know that the sky is blue in one case, and you still can't fathom that the sky is blue in another case, that to me is astounding. That to me is astounding. But despite all that, guys, I give you a pass. Let's think about why they would do this, why they would allow this. Well, one reason, maybe on a simple level, you have an internal war in the Israeli government. You have all those guys, the top brass of the military that threatened Bibi, that they weren't going to serve and that they weren't going to carry out orders, and then they weren't going to do this or that and the other. I wouldn't put it past those guys, knowing who they are, namely, a bunch of Erev Rav, to basically say, that there's an order to stand down, and, obviously guys in the army have to follow orders, and that's it. And they would allow this to make this right-wing government look horrible. That's one scenario. Another scenario is everybody's in on the damn thing, and they want, the right wing allowed it so then they can have a reason to go into Gaza and finish the job once and for all. The only thing I would say is that I can't imagine, even though at this point anything's possible, I can't imagine that the so-called religious guys in the coalition would, you want to use people as korbanot for, some kind of adventure to finish off Hamas. That's the second option. The third option, guys, is Bibi and Biden and Obama and, what is it called? And a bunch of, fruitcakes, Gnostic fruitcakes, the same ones that used Israel as a lab, now want to start a broader war in the Middle East. Guys, by the way, all three or two of the three of the things that I just listed could be true. Right? They could be true. But, guys, my point is, what happened 2 days ago, the way I just laid it out happened, meaning it took 7 hours to react. The most fortified place in Israel was suddenly not fortified. And again, there must be a reason. It can't just be, a screw up? Like they screwed up in the Yom Kippur War? Guys, it's not a screw up. This is not a screw up. The majority of the country was not in shul. This is not Yom Kippur. These kids were dancing at a rave, 4 kids, on S Torah. Do they care about S Torah? Not really. I don't think they did. I'm just saying. I'm stating a fact. I'm not judging these kids. That's for shalom. They whoever perished 2 days ago died automatically al Kiddush Hashem, guys. I'll tell you, this day, I actually wrote that this day is going to be like one of the kinot in Tisha B'Av, and a friend of mine wrote, hopefully it'll turn into something. The event, the result of which will lead to something that will turn Tisha B'Av into a Hag, meaning we'll have Mashiach and Tisha B'Av will become a holiday, not a day of mourning, right? So that's a nice, little twist on that. But guys, these kids died al Kiddush Hashem, whoever died, right? At the rave, wherever else. Terrible. I mean, we know. I don't have to say it. So, but the majority of the country is not in shul that day. And the idea is that, usually it's all hands on deck, especially down there. Especially next to Gaza. Guys, again, it's one of those things where I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Again, my friends message me in private. Tzvi, you want to say that this was an inside shmab? Guys, there's things that are inside jobs, and then there's things that are where it's kind of like J6, where people just kind of allowed, come in, guys, come in, come in, we're wide open. And, what's the reason? There's reasons why somebody allows somebody to come in somewhere. Whether it's a building, a government building, whether it's a border, it's a land, it's a town. Guys, yeah, listen. The people that did this, meaning the guys that actually flew in and walked in and all the rest of it, yeah, these are, guys, you ever see a zombie movie? Somebody allows zombies to come in and do something. Maybe there's like a mad scientist, right? He made these zombies and he allowed them to come in. Guys, I don't know if you know this. You know who armed Hamas and who basically created Hamas? Or allowed Hamas to be a thing? Ariel Sharon. Guys, do you know why we even have this problem with Hamas and Gaza? Because Ariel Sharon pulled Jews out of Gush Katif 18 years ago. Guys, we had, how many wars? 3 or 4 wars with these guys? Wars? Non-stop rockets for 18 years? There's entities that are in the Israeli government that enabled these zombie sub-chimps. And they came in and they did what they did. They did what they do. This is what they do, right? But guys, we are focusing on only part of the problem. On a small element, subset of the problem. The main problem, guys, are the creatures, the fruity, Gnostic fruitcake consciousnesses, non-human almost consciousness that are running the Israeli government. No, my friend Michael Brenner, I love you, but it's not an intelligence failure. It's not an intelligence failure. There is no failure here. It's unfortunately, something smells weird, as I just outlined in the brunt of this video. So guys, again, for those of you who understood what went on with the Israeli government during, from 2020 to 2022, and asking me, I don't understand. So what you're saying is Guys, apply the same principles, when in doubt about step 1, apply, look to step 2, look to number 2. And it's like, what's number 2? Look to number 1. Just apply whatever you saw during COVID to this situation, guys. Literally apply it. You can't believe that a government that allowed Gnostic fruitcake globalists to use the country as a lab would allow Gnostic fruitcake globalists to use zombies to infiltrate the country and cause a massacre and start a crazy war. Guys, one of us is crazy, and it ain't me, okay? One of us is not understanding something here. One of us is not reading the tea leaves. Whoever, whichever one of you messages me. It's not just one of us, it's like a few of us. My friend Brian, in my neck of the woods, people know the sky is blue. You're not alone in questions. First things my friends said to face, something is not right. Guys, just use your intuition. If you haven't developed your intuition yet, if you don't have things called antenna, I suggest, grow them, attach them. Cultivate your intuition, guys. If something smells weird, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Strange. My friend Michael, I'm also asking why it took so long to come to the border towns after it was known. Dude, you're leaving. You know what else they did? They took away some of the army guys out of there, and they left what's called the rough shots. This is the civilian security force of every town. And some of these rough shots guys didn't even have guns. And it took them forever to get, when they applied to get approval for guns. So, for example, in Judea and Samaria, as far as I know, you get guns automatically, right? Because you're rough shots of a yeshuv in, Judea and Samaria. But over there, for some reason, these civilian, security guys, it's not as easy. Because they're it's called Israel proper, but they're on the border of Gaza. So the idea is that the army's there, but they remove the army, or they remove some guys. So, what's up? And there was no drones, and there was no, there's no helicopters, no nothing. It's like, hey, come in, just come in. I don't, guys, it's Israel. I have friends who are in Unit 8200, and you ask them, half jokingly, so what are you guys working on? And they answer you half jokingly, if I tell you I'm going to have to kill you. Guys, Israel has top-notch tech. Physically, technologically, top-notch military tech. I have a friend who's working on some stuff, and they're doing stuff with Korea, the Korean army, and they're giving it to them, and they're modifying it for them. They're taking it. Obviously, we know the F-35s, and they're modifying the cockpits, and all the panel, all the guys. I mean, like seriously. If you want to tell me that this was just an intelligence failure, you're trying to sell me a bridge in Brooklyn. Sell me a bridge in Brooklyn. I ain't buying that stuff, guys. Like, anyway, guys, my point is that we have to use our seichel. And yeah, obviously, the broader repercussions of this, guys, is that Jews now around the world, in major cities, are not safe. If you live as Frank and I said, if you live in a blue state, you have to protect yourself. I'm going to leave it at that. Or leave, go to a red state, or a state that's friendly to, owning certain things. Okay. My friend is writing, we all have sick feeling for what our Jewish brothers and sisters are going through. We know Israel is a mirror of what can happen in other countries. Yeah, of course. Guys, even today they had these rallies with the, so-called Muslims of every stripe. Just like, these guys, you have to understand, these guys are proud to hate us. They wear that as a badge of honor. In their mind, they think the world is with them. I mean, the poop kickers of the world, pardon my language, are with them. Also some so-called, first world countries are the representatives of those countries, supposedly. Also the non-human consciousness creatures that rule them. Guys, listen. As always, the Jews are on their own. And I'm talking about the citizens, guys, right? And as always, guys, we are in charge of our own destiny. Not Bibi, not Ehud Barak, who actually left. Not, what's his name, the other guy, Gantz. Not Lapid. Not Bennett, not Saar, not any of these people, guys. Just us. And yeah, listen, guys, I mean, if you're a proud Jew, just a proud Jew, right? Doesn't matter if you're religious, secular, and you love Israel, and you live in America, and you love Israel, and you support Israel, guys, just start doing something. Maybe Shabbat, maybe kosher, maybe mitzvot, maybe this, maybe that. Like, if not for the Torah, there is no Israel, guys. You understand that, right? If not for Hashem and the Torah, there's no point to having a country in the modern day called Israel. There's no point. There's no point to ever have Israel, the land of Israel. There's no point for Jews to be in Israel if not for the Torah, guys. This isn't just about high-tech and startup and the Dead Sea products and the beautiful girls and the army. Guys, like the things that I just listed is the stuff that got us into these illusions to begin with. It's about the Torah, it's about Hashem, it's about mitzvot. Just wake up, listen. You already woke up to, the fact that you're Jewish and the fact that there's like people who don't like us. Okay, not everybody doesn't not like us, but listen, we're, the fact that we have to be vigilant. Okay, that's a start, but like mitzvot, guys, we just went through Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. We had an attack on Simchat Torah. Guys, we had an attack the day after everything's delivered. That Rosh Hashanah is the signed, Yom Kippur is the sealed, and Hoshana Rabbah is delivered. And then Simchat Torah, you're sitting with Hashem and you're just, basking with Hashem. But we had an attack that day. Guys, hello. That's not a message? Even if the attack was allowed by these beasts that we call our government. Usurpers. Guys, listen, I mean, like, hello, McFly. Anyway, guys, I don't know how my message is going to be received. At this point, I don't really care. And I do care, but I don't really care about, what do they call all the slings and arrows, but it's time to wake up and smell the Jachnun. Speaking of which, my Yemenite friend, oh goodness gracious, guys, I'm not even going to tell you what he's been saying. And I'm not even going to tell you what his friends have been saying, which is even worse than what he's been saying. You can only imagine what a Yemenite has been saying about all of this, guys. They keep it simple. They keep it very, very, very simple. You can only guess. I'm not going to say it here, lest I be removed completely from social media. My friend Brian writes again, I'm no expert. I know something's biblical is in the works, and so do my friends in my neck of the woods. Of course, of course. See, non-Jews understand. Baruch Hashem. Anyway, guys. Yeah. Stay safe. Watch it out there. And talk to you soon.